Ah, yes. Digimon girl characters. A time-honored tradition of making young boys feel things they didn't expect to feel when starting this monster collecting show. Who was your first Digi-waifu? Mine at 6 years old was Sora, and with the triple combination of her, Misty, and Mary Jane, it's no wonder I ended up with a weird fixation on redheaded girls that wound up resulting in me liking a red-haired girl from a show I don't actually like. But I digress. So, this week on Digimon Beat Break, as I said, we mostly focused on Reina. Tomare still got some focus because, well, or Tomoro, because he's the main character, obviously. But this was a really, standard way to introduce the girl character, but I thought, it was still pretty effective for what it needed to be. And also, it did lead to a couple fun, nice moments. And also, most importantly, this is going to be like a 50-episode show. Some episodes will feel very by the numbers, but the likability of this cast, I think, really sets it through. So let's begin, as we always do, with where the episode starts off. So this episode opens with what I imagine will be a pretty common structure, which is the cold open is just depicting the bad guy of the week doing bad guy of the week things. In this week's case, it's this motorcycle motherfucker who is just going around attacking buses to steal, I think, was it more e-pulses or just steal shit in general? I don't know. It's pretty standard by the numbers, and it's not actually that important. So yeah, after that, we see the gang in the bar place where they get their missions. And of course, naturally, that's the new big bounty everyone on the squad is after. So, they all want to embark on finding this evil Digimon. However, Tomoro does not, as he wants to go after his brother, because we will need to be reminded that that's his goal probably every episode until we eventually address what happened to him. Also, side note, if anyone watches Karn EX, he's a pretty big name Digituber. He brought up the theory that the ape Digimon who stole the brother's E-Pulse is actually his partner, and there's more going on there than meets the eye. Shout out to him. I never thought of that. I just assumed bad guy Digimon doing bad guy Digimon things. But if that happens, just know a guy who looks at Digimon stuff for a living figured it out before I did. So yeah, so then they're all like, well, guess what? You gotta earn your keep, bitch. So they attempt to go on the mission, but in order to get Reina to cooperate, the other guy, what's his name? Kyo? Is literally just like, come on, Reina, you're the boss and you like my approval, which plays to Reina's sort of ego, which, while a generic bit that you see in a lot of shows like this, it is effective. Cliches are cliches for a reason, and making it that in order to get your tomboy chick to do what she needs to do, simply building her up as the leader and top dog is a very effective way to do it. So I really don't mind seeing that here. But yeah, so then our squad pretty quickly are able to figure out how to catch the bad guy Digimon and set out to do so, but the plan is ruined when Tomoro, still refusing to cooperate and be Mr. Edgy Teen Boy, is all like, meh, why should I listen to the rules? Meh, who cares about plans? Meh, I'm gonna do things my way. Meh, I'm going down! And then Reina jumps in to save him, which results in the enemy Digimon getting away, and before they're able to make haste, she twists her ankle. Actually, the image of him just standing there confused when he's about to get shot, I don't know if that was on purpose, but it was kind of unintentionally funny, my guy, focus. But yeah, so then we go back to the base where she's all bandaged up, and I like that scene where they get served tea, and I think that's just a really neat little character beat, how Pristimon is almost more interested in how the tea smells, and that's how he actually, or she actually enjoys tea. Just little beats like that I actually think are kind of fun. Or seeing more from the Bat Digimon, or even just seeing more from the leader guys, how his rookie Digimon just kind of acts and interacts. These are the fun little moments that I think really make an episode to me. But so yeah, the episode from there takes your pretty standard what you expected to do route. Tomare and her continue their argument. He walks out. The other guy comes out and then says, you know, she didn't have a family and she really didn't fit in with any other cleaner groups. So when she joined up with Golden Dawn, this was the first time she felt accepted. And that's why she takes what she does so passionately and treats everyone like their family. And why, even if she doesn't necessarily get along with you, she's going to stand up for you and try to protect you. Which naturally leads to Tomoro being like, maybe I was a little too harsh and all that. And then, of course, you get the little bit of Gekomon eating a snack that Reina gave him. All just these little kind of things that I think just really give it a lot of personality. It's really easy to make Gekomon very personality focused. I know when I was at New York Comic Con and the Gekomon's voice actress was talking, and she said how she always wanted to voice a Digimon because, like, it's just kind of more fun. And yeah, you get that vibe here. Like, there's so much energy to the character and so much emotion. And I thought it was interesting because Gekomon is inherently just not as expressive as the last couple Digimon partners because he has, like, the giant mouth. He has almost more, like, lizard-like eyes. He feels like he would be less expressive. But they take advantage of that and just make so much more of his movements, so much more of the way he interacts with things around him in order to fill in for the personality. It kind of takes the place and I think almost makes him more interesting than what we've gotten out of a few more recent partner Digimon. So yeah, now it's time to attempt to do the plan again, where this time, of course, naturally it works because they all listen and they all cooperate and they'll stop being edgy teens for 5 minutes to get into the big fight. And of course, naturally, what ends up happening during said fight is that Reina's about to get injured and Tomoro saves her. That being said, that was a pretty big piece of metal that was flying pretty quickly at her, and he was just like, boom, dodged it. Yeah, I know he like bruised his arm up a bit, but I feel like that thing should have cut that arm off. That felt a little much. But yeah, so they beat the Digimon, find the human partner, and while they're turning him in, he reveals that he was just doing this because he was told to do it to get paid, thus, of course, naturally insinuating there are bigger threats to be dealt with and bigger bad guys manipulating the smaller bad guys. All very typical kind of stuff I think we all saw coming, but they don't make a huge deal out of this revelation. They just kind of treat it like, oh, okay, that's the next phase of what we got to do. And of course, naturally, then the episode wraps with everyone getting steak and being happy. And I like that it didn't end on another like argument joke. It just kind of ended on just like a positive, nice note. And I appreciated that with Tomoro digging into the steak. And also there was the revelation this week that Digimon take on the personality trait of their partners. A nice way to sort of like explain why Digimon are always like so in tune with their partners. The thing I've always thought was kind of odd in Digimon is very rarely are the Digimon ever in like, there's never any like real fighting between them and their partners. They just accept the role they're supposed to protect this random kid pretty quickly. And it's one of those things, just kind of after a while, you're like, wow, I wonder why they do that. And here it's just kind of like, oh, it's because their personalities are based on the human who they were sort of like given power and life or e-pulse from. So just a nice little fun detail to end off the episode. And so yeah, that was this week's episode of Digimon Beat Break. If it sounds like I really harped on the fact that it was very just kind of a standard by the numbers episode of television, it's because it was. But I still liked it. I still really had fun with it. I do like Reina was given a focus episode so quickly. A lot of people compare this season to Savers because it's the same head writer, and how Yoshino in that season, while she's fun, never really, I felt like, got a big focus on her. She was just there to be the girl, and that was it. So giving Reina an episode so dedicated to her so quickly and how her relationship with Tomoro is evolving, I actually thought was a nice little beat. I am a little surprised, though, next week's isn't about the other kid. It looks like it's a Tomoro on an adventure by himself and Gekomon. But I'm sure we'll get to him eventually, and I'm sure whatever they do will be fun because I am having a lot of fun with Digimon Beat Break. But are you having a lot of fun with Digimon Beat Break? I mean, I assume you are. It seems like this show's doing pretty good for a Digimon season, or at least a modern Digimon season, I should say. But give me your thoughts about that in the comments section below. And as always, click to like, click to subscribe, and join me next week for what it looks like is Tomoro and Gekkomon's Day Out.